Welcome everybody to episode 131 of the Startup Show. Today we are here in Zurich and I'm very excited to talk to the CEO of Catch a Car, René Maeder, and we are talking about Catch a Car. We talk about the free floating principle of car sharing, but also why it's important to fail and how to continue. Make sure to stay tuned. Welcome to episode 131 of the Startup Show. Today we are here in Zurich and I'm very excited to talk to the CEO of Catch a Car, René Maeder. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cédric, for inviting me here. I'm also excited. I'm looking forward to your questions.
Very good. So as you know, on the Startup Show, the first thing we always do is my audience wants to know who is in the hot seat today. So maybe give us a short rundown of your very interesting life so far.
So I am René. I am 47 years old, living since 20 years now here in Zurich. I'm a Swiss guy. I love to cook, besides, and I love the mountains. So everything as you expect from a Swiss guy.
You joined Catch a Car in the beginning of the year or end of last year, and before you were at Xing, you did many different interesting positions over the course of your life. What do you think helps you the most now when you look back at your career when building Catch a Car?
So I'm a digital guy. I only can do digital things. I opened the office for Xing Switzerland here. I did the Job Scout platform here in Switzerland, so digital marketplace. I started the digital venturing for Ringier. And I think everything together, and also my background as a computer scientist, which is 20 years ago, but it's very important now to bring Catch a Car to success.
Yes. So let's first try to understand, before we go more into depth into what Catch a Car is, the structure within mobility and Catch a Car. How is that set up in a way, let's say, that you can build your own company while not being, influenced too much by mobility?
Oh, this is I'd say, very comfortable situation because I have the funding from mobility, I have the support from mobility, I use a lot of services from mobility like the fleet management or even HR. We are a very small and agile team focusing on market development and business development, product development, and therefore can really act very efficiently and agile.
Maybe give my audience a short rundown of what exactly Catch a Car is, so we all know exactly what we're going to talk about now.
So we are a car sharing service. We share cars. We run 250 cars now in Geneva and Basel. And we run these cars in the free floating scheme. So this is basically, we are convinced, the absolutely best way to share cars. So you don't need to bring it back. It's really where you are. You pick the car, you drive as far, as long as you want to go. You leave it there. You're only paying for the time you used it.
What is, let's say, when you look down, for someone who doesn't know, what's this principle of free floating car sharing? How does it work and how does this work behind the scenes?
Yeah, everybody knows, I think, here in Switzerland at least, mobility. Mm-hmm. Mobility started 20 years ago with car sharing. They rented parking spaces, bought cars and gave them to the people to share. Yeah? So you plan, you book, you drive, you bring it back. With our service, I'd say we are version 2.0. You don't need to bring it back. This was the most annoying, normally, part of car sharing. You just open up your app, look, where's the nearest car on the map, book it, open it, drive as long as far as you want, and drop it where you arrived. Maybe at the airport, maybe at the main station, or at your home.
Yeah. I mean, you said like now it's, as far as I remember, Geneva and Basel. Mm-hmm. How much is it used now by, let's say, the Swiss people?
Yeah, we are a startup. So we started 4 years ago. 4 years ago, we started in Basel together with a study from the ETH, 2 years long. And when we knew that free-floating car sharing does work in a rather small-scale urban area. You know, in 2014, There were others outside of Switzerland. We are the pioneers here in Switzerland, but outside Switzerland, in Vienna, in Munich, and other urban areas, free-floating car sharing was already successfully operating. But now, in Switzerland, it was proven that it works in a smaller scale. That's where we convinced the AMAG and Allianz to join us, to fund us, to help us to grow to other cities here in Switzerland.
What do you say, let's say, when you look at the Swiss people, what is holding them back from using it right now?
So car sharing is growing slowly. Yeah? Only every 8.2 years you decide to buy a new car. So after 8 years, you start to think about, do I really need a new car or should I share cars? Should I just go outside of my apartment and use whatever mobility solution is there on the road? Like scooters, like micro scooters, like catch cars. This decision to really not use a personal car, to own a private car, is made slowly.
What is, let's say, when we talk in numbers, what is it, the amount of cars that you need per capita? So it would make sense that you always have like a car next to you.
That's a very good question, Cédric. Very good question. I know from a study of the ETH that 8,000 cars from 2 separate companies would work easily here in Zurich.
Yeah.
So that's a simulation.
I mean,
we currently do have 250 cars in Basel and Geneva together. We crossed 10,000 members in February. So we are growing steadily and I am happy with the growth. But yes, in Basel live 170,000 people. And so there is room for more.
Let's talk about the regulatory requirements. I mean, I can imagine that like some cities are more open to that than others. Let's say before we say which city does what, but maybe you can explain to us like what is needed for you to launch the service within a new city.
Yes, there is one little thing that we need to operate. And this is rather complicated. We need to have the allowance to place our cars on public parking space. So this is
for unlimited
time,
I guess.
For unlimited time. Yeah. Yes. This is the basic need. We cannot start, you cannot start, and nobody can start free-floating car sharing, not giving the car back at the place where you started without the permission to place or to change the cars from one member to the next member on the public parking spaces.
What are some tips for balancing work and life?
Start cooking. Start cooking. Really, at the end of a fully digital day, coming home and chop some carrots is really perfect to have a perfect balance.
Do you have a story of how you turned failure into a learning experience?
This is absolutely necessary. Every team in the world needs to be able to learn from failures. Failures should be celebrated. Failures, without doing failures, you cannot improve. So it's really a talent that you need to grow and develop in every team.
What traits do you look for when you hire someone?
In a startup like we are, everybody needs to be comfortable with open green space, so blue ocean. You need to be open to change. You need to be welcoming change. You should just be a very open and personally driven person. We can give then sense in meaning in the work.
What are some of the key tools, materials, or strategies you use to grow the company?
Currently, we just grow the company using performance marketing. Growing the company in a situation like we are is basically getting the market. So growing the number of members. And where do we find them? We find them on all social and search platforms. And we are really growth hacking at the very best.
What's your best selling strategy?
We like to offer very good product. We want our cars be proper. We want our cars be safe to drive. We want the user experience to rent the car as good as possible. We want to have a fair price. I think this is very important today with the transparency. We want to be an honest service that really delivers what it sells.
Yeah. Good. So René, now is your moment to leave the legacy and share some of your wisdom. Give the students and everybody out there who was looking to be in your seat at some point and running such a company. Give some advice. Share some wisdom with us.
I think what is most important is to always look forward. Yeah. Forget about what was back. Yeah, if you have a failure, stand up, do it again, try it in a different way, because you don't learn if you don't try it in a different way. But this is, I think, the most important thing. So take motivation, self-motivate you after failures, and do it again in a different way.
Okay, cool. René, thank you so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, everybody who tuned in and stayed all the way till the end of this video. I really appreciate it. Make sure to stay a few more seconds so you'll see who is up next week. And I'll see you there. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm David, CEO and co-founder of Legardis. Tune in next Monday for the next episode and subscribe to the channel.